Thank you for joining me. Let's talk about death. Isn't death on the minds of many seekers? We ask such questions like, what happens during and after death? Where do I go after I die? Am I going to a good place or a bad place? How can I make sure I go to a good place? It's a big question, death, but only for one who does not embrace life. I am much less interested in what happens during and after death, and I'm much more interested in what happens during life. Because if we know how life is orchestrated, then we know how death is orchestrated. There are two sides of the same coin. We have already experienced miniature deaths within our lives, so we know what it's like to let an aspect of ourselves or of our environment dissolve and fade away. What happens after we get rid of that which no longer serves us? Well, we're able to exist in the freshness that is granted. And again, we have already experienced deaths. No matter where you're at on your journey. And what happens after a death of the old? Well, there is a rise of the new. There is another adventure to be had. However, the question of death is actually a foolish one, because you are not yet there. You are alive. We are alive. It is disrespectful towards life and towards one who is living to grasp at some kind of answer towards some kind of future event when here we are. All there is the eternal now. And that's all there ever is going to be. So the greatest way to understand death is to understand how to embrace what is living. It sounds too simple. But it is my knowing that one who incessantly wonders, what happens when I die? Where am I going? Is one who is not embracing life, who is engaging in present fear, in present anguish. So, because the present moment feels jarring or isn't truly embraced, one then is able to venture into the future. And maybe even into what we see as the finality of the future, which is death. However, one who truly embraces each now moment for exactly what it presents is one who is continuously opening up the present of the present. There's loads of suffering within life. And isn't that a great challenge? So, what happens when you die? I don't care. And honestly, I think you don't care either. I think what you care about is to be the livingness that you know you can be. Does it take discipline? Yes. Does it take hardship and getting over hurdles of one's shadows? Yes, it absolutely does. I'm not suggesting that we simply have to pull out of thin air a positive attitude towards things. No, all I am suggesting is that in order for death to not be haunting or to not feel very dramatic, one must fully embrace life and live it without ifs or buts. Now, there are ideas about heavens and hells, and there are so many fancy scriptures which may tell you that you are simply a pawn in somebody else's game, and therefore you have to please that force. This is erroneous. And you know this is erroneous because it has this overarching essence of fear. And nothing truly from the divine would ever make such a fear-based system, like you go to heaven or you go to hell. It's not true. So what is true? What can I trust? Well, the essence within, which guides, which is not separate from what we've called the divine. Be the divine, then you'll know exactly what the divine says about your path. And death is truly just an entrance into freshness. So, why don't we then keep things fresh and alive right here, right now? Isn't that kind of the same thing as the greatest death we could imagine? Keep up the great work. Take care. Don't stress about things which are over there. Or if you want to, you can. It's your mind, it's your body, it's your soul. Do what you want with it, you know.